Good morning. I'm going to do the second presentation of the Excel sheet, which has now been updated to include actual home recipes, so whereby we can be able to cook a dish, add the macronutrients, and then add it to the program. The channel, my channel is under this address, which will be added below in the description. And also the Excel sheet, please download it. Don't write to me asking for access to edit it, because there's only one master version, which is this one. So download it from here, which also will be added down in the description, and then you can work with it. Okay, we'll start. If you saw my last video, this is a very similar start. We actually add the kilos or your own body weight here. So if we say 60, only change the blue field. This is only for reference, only in pounds for our American friends, and then that will automatically change your calories minimum and calories maximum on the day one, and calories minimum, calories maximum as recommended by Valter Longo in the FMD diet program. Then you can choose. You can actually do the maximum. Let's go back to, let's say, a weight more relative to my size. So you can actually choose the maximum or the minimum, or somewhere in between. These are the values that ProLon ships in their boxes. So this is the first time I did it with these values, but now I do tend to maybe do a little bit below what they offer. So let's say 1,000, and then here we can do something like 750. So now these values will directly affect how much you will be required, according again to Valter Longo's program, how much fat, carbs and protein you will be recommended to have on day one, and on day 2 to 5 how much fat in grams, carbs in grams, and proteins in grams. So these values will then be added to here. So 62, 85, 25 is 62, 85, 25 for day one. This is your targets for each day. So your calories is 1,000, which is here for the day one, and day 2 to 5 your calories will be 750. So day 2 calories will be 750, and the amount of fat, carb and protein is 37, 88, 17 comes from here, 37, 88, 17. So as you can see, the weight gives you a clue or an idea of how much you should be having in calories. Then you pick your own value, and that will trickle down to the whole of the program. So this is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and then the sum of them all. So this is what you have. So this is the actual values that you've had in the 5 days, calories, 695 in the last day, the total 5 days, 388. The aim according to the program, or what we've chosen, is 4,000. So here it gives you the difference. We actually have, in fact, too few calories for this program, so we need to change things. The same with fat. The aim of all the 5 days will be 166, and we've had 209. So we've had again, we've had 166, and the aim was the target was 209. So we got minus 42. So these are the values that we should be aiming for, and these are the values that we actually have. And this is where we need to change items in the 5 days so that we get this as close as this. And at the end, don't be too worried that this is not absolutely, down to zero, because as you can see from the actual ProLon kit that they send, which I've calculated as well, they weren't exactly spot on the values. It's very difficult to get everything totally right. So these are their values. They were, according to my weight, 248 calories over, fat, carbs and proteins. These are the values. Okay, so anyhow, we'll move on. So each day will be divided into your breakfast, lunch, snack and dinner, but this is just arbitrary. I mean, you can have all the food in any order during the same day, but as you've read probably in the book, you can already swap from one day to another. So as you can see, the first day we're allowed 1,000 calories, so that's a reasonable day. Then the other days will be 750, so it's a little bit tighter. Now, how do we get these values? So we're going to have the first thing, just to get it out of the way, the glycerol drink, which comes up from day 2 to 5. You can actually buy this as food quality glycerol concentrate, which I did in Amazon, and it's in one of my other videos. And then this you don't need to change at all. So by putting your weight here, it will automatically show up in this sheet. The weight here, don't change this, just change it at the beginning. That will tell you how much, then using the calculation and the recommended amount of the ProLon conversion, which is 50 kilocalories per 45 kilograms of weight. Then we have the calories that would convert, the amount of glycerol for this body weight will convert into 80 kilocalories, and you would need to actually pour it into your bottle either in grams, 18.5 grams, which I find easier than measuring milliliters. So as I say, this will change every time you change your weight. So if you actually weigh 60 kilos or 132 pounds, then your glycerol will be less calories and less amount you need. Okay, coming back to, so that's the glycerol done, and this will automatically be added to the sheet here. These are the grams that you would need for my weight, and these are the calories that it would, the effect it would have on your food every day. So then from there we go to the main item. Well, we have the biscuits, which are normally in blue. So this day we're having 2 biscuits, corny hazelnuts, and this one. And this you will find here in bars. So same as in the previous sheet, I've been to various supermarkets, Reve and Aldi, and I've actually found these items. White chocolate, which is a 20-gram bar, which has got 67 calories, 1.9 fat, etc. And then I just picked them. I mean, in the last time I did it, I picked on day 1, I had the corny Nusswohl and the corny Schoko. I'm in German, by the way, that's why these were funny words. Then on day 2, I had the corny Haselnuss and the banana. And day 3, this is just for organizing yourself, but you need to change all these. Then when it comes to the foods, so that's the biscuits. Then the foods, well, let's leave that to the end. The multivitamins and amino acids, well, from the last sheet you also know that I actually went to great lengths to pick different vitamin supplements, and then I also found some amino supplements to make up for what the ProLon diet offers. This is what the ProLon items offer, and I just tried to find this one plus this one gives me the closest amount to what Valter Longo was proposing. So I actually take, one of these and one of these to make up for the supplements as is proposed in the initial program. Same with the omega tablets, the fish oil. Again, I'm not a vegetarian or vegan, so I don't mind having normal fish oil. And I just found one in the drugstore, which I actually had to take 2 off on the first day and on the last day to make up for the DHA value that ProLon proposes, which is 200. My tablet was 100, so I have 2 of them. That's how I do it. So as your multivitamins, infusion tea, well, you can have as many as you want. I actually started having black coffee or even coffee with an amount of milk, taking into account the amount of milk I have, 50 grams, adding also those macronutrients, because I just found that without the coffee, sometimes day 2, day 3, I get a headache, so it's not worth it. So either black coffee or 1 coffee a day. And then we have also in some of the days, I managed to get... where are my olives? So I have 50 grams of olives, same as Valter Longo had in his meal. But as I say, it's all very flexible. You can add things, you can take things away. Then you also have, instead of the dry biscuits, I have half a slice of bread, this type of bread, which makes up for, it will be about 21.5 grams for half a slice, which will give me 51 calories, 1.5 fat, 6.9 carbs, and 1.6 protein. It's just all playing up so that I can get these figures to come as close as possible, the actuals to the targets. I also had another day where are my nuts. Okay, they don't appear here, but some days I even had a little 10 grams of walnuts in a previous version. So let's go to the meals. Let's go to the easy parts first. So the olives are just here. This is just some olives I found in the supermarket, and I have 15 grams, which will give me these values of the macronutrients. The bars I've already showed. You go to supermarket, you take pictures of the ones you see there. You will find that a lot of them have got very little fat, so if you find ones with more fat, you will find that it will help you in the end to tot everything up. And then the main thing is the meals. Okay, this is now where this is very different from the previous one. In the previous ones, and if you go between rows 6 and 17, I've got hidden rows here, unhide, and these show again my soups. Okay, so these are commercial instant soups that I use in the first 4 times. By the 5th time I managed to get, I did this Excel sheet. So if you want to actually do with soups, you can still use this Excel sheet. You just pick your soups from the supermarket, add your values here, and then just copy paste this to the main page there. But now I think it's more fun to do it, if possible, with the cooked meals. So how do the cooked meals work? Okay, let's not start with the burrito because that's actually a cold meal. But let's start with a hearty red cabbage. No, that's also a soup. I mean a salad. Let's start with a coconut curry with butternut squash, which we did in the last version. So here I found a recipe which is actually by a gentleman on the internet, Richard H. Ruby, who's kindly has actually posted a PDF here with all his diet, all his recipes, which he proposes. Now I've taken these recipes away from his page with his credit to him, and then I've added or recalculated all the values he uses in grams for, as Europeans, but I'm sure you can do it in ounces and tablespoons as well. Now I found that his values were, for the most part, for two meals. So I've worked everything out for one meal. Yeah. So I've actually gone and said, okay, butternut squash, according to him, I'll put 110 grams. Broccoli, according to his values, I'll put the grams. Onion, raw. And then we've got the staple of proteins, the cashew nuts, milk coconut, olive, and each one will have its grams that I use, the calories, the fat, the carbs, and the protein. Now the beauty of this Excel sheet, if you can actually, I've actually got another sheet, another page here, which is the actual foods, where I've added all the foods I'm using. And you can add your own thing here. Yeah, you can come here and you can add, let's say, pasta 2, because I've already got one there. And then from the internet or from the stuff you got in your larder, you can add your 100 grams and how many calories. Well, let's say 76. The fat will be 7. The carbs will be 8. The proteins will be 7. So this now will appear in my meals plan. So you can add anything you want here. I've already got a few things that I found on the internet and also at home. The things with the asterisks are actually values that I have from stuff I have at home. I've actually read the label, and the other stuff I've got it from the internet. So I cannot guarantee these are correct. Each person will have to do their own research. But let's look for pasta 2. So now when you go to meals, because I've added my own food there. So if I go to the blues, which are these type of foods, and if I go here in the menu, I should be able to see pasta 2. So if I change pasta 2, I will get 1.9. Okay, this is put for 250 grams. If I put 100 grams here, 76, 7, 8, and 7. So these are the exact values which I actually put here. 76 for 100 grams, 76, 7, 8, 7. It will appear here as 76, 7, 8, 7. Of course, we're not going to use 100 grams of pasta. We're going to use only 45 grams of pasta. And that will, again, change these values. So each food amount that you put here will change the values, which will change your value of the whole meal. And then this is where we come back to the same way we were before. Once you've actually got all your ingredients here and all your values here, then you have to copy paste. I'm afraid this is the only part that I cannot do, I cannot automate anymore. So you do a copy, then you go to your food program, and I'm going to have on day 2, instead of the ratatouille, I'm going to have this pasta food. So I paste it as values only so that we don't get all the fonts as well. And there it will be 208, 14.3, 18.9, and 8. This is coconut curry butter squash. So this is come straight from here. 28, 207, 14.25, 18.9, 8. 208, 14.3, 18. So this is how I've managed to do the meals. Yeah. So you can There is three instructions are a little bit complicated, but I'm sure you can get it after a while. You either use what I already have, or you add your own items in vegetables, staples, fruit, and meats and proteins. You add here, then you come to your new meal that you're planning, and you come and change here. Okay, I'm not going to have butter squash, I'm actually going to have cabbage. I'm not going to have boiled broccoli, I'm going to have carrot, and I'm not going to have onion, I'm going to have tomato. Now the beauty of it is that you can actually even add more items. So for example, if I want to add more vegetables, so I don't know how confident you are with Excel, but if you want to add a new row, let's say for example we want to add another vegetable in this for this meal, so you can actually add a row here, insert, so we have a clean row, then you copy the one above, so we'll copy, then you paste with font and everything, and then you get a complete copy. The good thing is that then this one actually also contains all the foods that you can choose. So let's say I want to have mushrooms raw, so I go a mushrooms raw here. See, that's changed, and let's say we want to have 40 grams of mushrooms raw. So that's now changed here, and it's sort of added all up here for your calories, fat, etc. So now you have all the ingredients for your food. You can actually, as I say, add more vegetables, add some of the staples, or add some of the meats or proteins. You can even add a row of, let's say we're going to add a row of fruit. So again, we go to the insert a row here. Actually, I wanted to insert it below, so you actually put it below where you want to insert it. And now I want to add a row of fruit. Well, the easiest way is to actually go and find somewhere else where there's a row of fruit, which are the red ones here. It is lemon juice. You copy the whole row, copy, and then you go back to where you were up here, and you paste it into that row I created, which I've passed it now. Yeah, here it is. So then you copy and you paste it completely. So now we have a fruit row here. So I can go to melon, orange. Let's say we wanted to have a little bit of papaya with this fruit. Again, everything is changed. We're only going to have 10 grams of it. This is just for show, and that would again add everything up. So this is how you can actually add, or you can remove a whole row of one of the ingredients. Let's say we want to take onions completely off. So I go here and I delete the whole row, and you can see that everything's changed. So this is how you actually add all the ingredients. Now in terms of the recipes, well, as again, these are the ingredients, and the recipes you can find under Richard H. Ruby's web page. That's how I've done them, and I've got some of the photos on my Instagram there. You can see some of the meals I've done. So once we've done this, then we go back to the same old copy-paste system that we used the previous time. So we go to coconut, to the one that we've just done, where we've added the papaya. So I copy this row, and then I go to my program, and I'm going to have this on days, let's say day 3 instead of sesame noodles. So you paste it just with just the values, and that changes the values here, and it changes the values here. So we do the same as with the previous Excel sheet with all the other foods. So the bars, the olives, and the foods will be added and subtracted here until you get the right values. Now the last thing on this web is actually I've actually made a little sheet here to help with the shopping, because it can get actually quite complicated. So in the shopping, I've actually organized myself so that on day 1 I'm going to do the pumpkin soup, or on day 1 I'm going to eat the pumpkin soup and the coconut curry. On day 2 I'm going to have the ratatouille with half of one of the previous ones, and on the day 3 I'm going to have the sesame with some of this one, and this is reflected here as well in meals. So I have on the day 1 and 3 I will have the coconut curry. On the day 2, where are the days shown here. So here it is. So on day 1 I'm going to have pumpkin soup and coconut curry. On day 2 I'm going to have the pumpkin soup that I already have, and I'm going to make a new ratatouille with walnuts. On day 3 I'm going to have the coconut with curry that I've already made on day 1, plus make a new meal here of the sesame noodles, and on the day 4, etc. So basically I'm making 5 meals, and I'm going to eat twice each day, have 2 each day. So for the foods, for the shopping, I've got my each of the meals is pumpkin soup, coconut curry, ratatouille, sesame, and Indian. Therein I've put each of the ingredients. I'm having pumpkin 500 grams, onion 60, garlic 5, vegetables, etc., on each meal, for each meal. Then I've added up on the left for the shopping list the total amount of pumpkin, which is 500 grams, the total amount of butternut squash, 160, which is 110 plus 50, the total amount of onion, which is 105, which is 60 plus 15 plus 30. So you can actually get the whole shopping list here. And then on top of that, I've done it for 2 people because I was doing this with my wife. So we're going to do twice. So 500 becomes 1,000. Actually, this amount was too much, so don't follow that recipe. Do something straight. But let's say the onion from 105 we get to 110 because I'm going to do for 2 people. And then because we're going to eat each meal twice, we need 4 times of each one. So the raw onion in the end we need 420 grams, which is 2 people, 2 meals. And that's then I took to a supermarket and I did the shopping there. So as you can see, there's a lot of information here, and it can be a little bit mind-boggling at the beginning, but really once you start, you'll be able to do it, and it's just so amazing how we can actually change. We can make this FMD diet so much more fun by having our own meals that we choose. So pumpkin soup here, and the coconut curry with butternut squash. Then we can add the biscuits if we fancy biscuits. I do enjoy a biscuit in the morning with a coffee, or in the evening sometimes, or before my yoga. Then you can also add, we even have a boiled egg, which actually boiled egg is very fun. And the walnut, here they are. It's very fun because you can actually add odd things, like in foods I actually put a boiled egg. Where's my friend, the boiled egg? So in proteins, there it is, 1 boiled egg. Obviously everything is done per 100 grams, but my eggs actually weighed, I think it was 50 grams. Where is the boiled egg? Sorry, in the food programs. So the boiled egg is 53 grams according to some tables on the internet. So then 53 grams of boiled egg will be 81 calories, 5.8 of fat, carbs, etc. And then you can have some walnuts, you can have some this is very naughty, but the first day we got actually quite a leeway with these 1,000 calories. So I even added 5 grams of Lindt chocolate to have with my coffee, and that also I worked out in foods. I think somewhere here there should be an amount of chocolate, maybe in I don't know where I put it now. There it is, Lindt chocolate 60% and Lindt chocolate mint. So it is very, very flexible, and it's a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy it. And drop us a line or a comment below if you need some help with it, but it's highly enjoyable to do the FMD this way. And as you will see from the Instagram and from the videos, the weight keeps on dropping off. Admittedly it comes up a little bit in between, but the general tendency is down, and it's a lot of fun and all the health that comes with it. So enjoy your FMD, be healthy, be at your optimal weight, do exercise, and take care. If you like the video, like it, and please subscribe. All the best. Bye bye.